good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Sounded like you were crying for a minute, chat.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wait. W. Trying to figure out. Okay, well, my fucking mouse is working. My keyboard isn't. Sorry about my fucking dingmate sounds.
Actually, there's a chair.
Wait, what are you doing?
Going out there to debate. If you guys support Trump, request on up, but we can talk about it. If you do not support Trump, like the live, that way we can talk to some MAGA. Wouldn't be surprised if Michigan ODS turns out to be a trans person. Okay, so we got OJ wants to come up here.
Yo.
Hello, OJ.
What up, man?
What is up? How old are you and do you support Trump?
I am 20 years of age, and I do.
Cool. And why would you support Trump? Bro, why can't I kick him? Anyway, Hoodlum wants to come up.
Wow.
I can't kick people fast enough. Hoodlum, how old are you? Do you support Trump?
I do. I'm 50.
Cool. And why would you support Trump?
Why not?
Oh, so I can actually tell you multiple reasons. One reason to not support Trump is because he has boasted about going into girls' changing rooms while he owned that what was it called? The beauty pageant place.
Hey, bro. Are you a girl?
Am I a girl?
Yeah.
I identify as one. One.
Okay. Well, there's other things more important in the world than worrying about, like, somebody who goes into beauty pageant changing room, bro.
Wait, so you don't care that he went into a changing room perving on little girls and...
You're so desperate, bro.
How am I desperate?
You're so desperate.
How am I desperate?
You're one of those, like, feel me bros.
You're not giving me a reason how I'm desperate.
You're desperate because that's the first thing that you're going to tell me on why I should support a two-term president? The fuck out of here, bro.
So just because he's a two-term president, does that mean you should support him?
Dude, you, sir, lady, whoever, whatever, are a complete
Two-term president don't mean
hater.
shit. Most of the presidents we've had have been two-term. That don't mean fucking shit.
Oh,
That don't mean shit.
Can you hear me?
And the fact
Hold
that
on, do you
think
have
that
anything other
is
than
so
personal
funny.
insults?
Most of our presidents have been two-term, so you're fucking dumb.
Well, a lot of presidents have been impeached as well, to reply to the
So was
comment,
Trump.
Has anyone ever been impeached twice before? That's got to be a record or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, the left is, like, polling below 20%. You guys are hemorrhaging voters.
What do you mean, you guys? I'm not
have a
part of the
message.
Democratic Party. You just assumed.
Did you vote for Harris?
Nope.
Okay, who'd you vote for?
Nobody, you fucking imbecile.
Oh, so you're just a hater.
Nobody, you fucking imbecile. Learn to get
Okay,
some
then what
brain
are you
cells.
gonna
Rub your brain
complain
cells
about?
together.
If you
Take your
didn't
brain
vote-
cells and rub
He's
them
only confused
together.
and complaining
Take
like-
the
If
few
you
brain
didn't
cells that you
vote-
have, rub
if
them
you didn't
together
vote,
for
then
me,
you don't
and
have a
try to
voice.
see if you can produce something of importance. Thank you, hosts. Thank you so much, host, for letting me try to produce something of importance, hoodlum. Yeah, I can tell by
You're
your
not
name. Your
important
name says
if
it
you
all.
just vote.
Hoodlum. You're a hoodlum. That's all you are. That's all you fucking are. And I hope that when the rapture really comes, that you're the first person that's left alone on his ass getting effed in the booty by some male BLK big D word. It just up in the butt because you are so crazy. Take those brain cells and just rub them together for me, so that way I can actually get some stimulating conversation from you. Because right now you're giving me nothing to fucking work with. You're giving me nothing to work with, and I bet if I go to your daddy and go to your dad and say, "Hey, Dad, hey, hoodlum's dad, let me go in the bedroom and get something from you, and maybe I can produce you a half sibling that has more brain cells than you. That way you can call me mommy. You can call me mommy. That way you can show me some respect." And maybe your half sibling will be loved more than you because they don't love you. They don't fucking love you. Bye, host. Thank you for letting me up here, host. I appreciate you. God bless you.
No problem, Queen.
Okay, great. So we figured out your pussy hurts. Great.
Okay, Hoodlum, let's talk. Let's talk, Hoodlum. Let's talk. So, why not support Trump? Okay, so clearly you went into personal insults because you had no rebuttal against what I said. So we can go with a different one. He revoked Executive Order 11246, which stops federal contractors from discriminating against race, sex, and other factors like sexual orientation. We could start there.
That's duplicity, okay? We already have discrimination laws. We don't need another
So wait,
regulation.
wait, hold on. No. Shut up.
What?
There we go. Okay. So
Does your pussy hurt too?
no, I'm not, because you keep talking over me, so. I've given you grace by not dropping you because, one of the rules is talking over people equals dropped, so, I have given you grace by giving you a platform to talk on, so if you could just let me talk without being talked over, that'd be great. Anyways, revoking Executive Order 11246 can be very bad because that executive order specifically helped federal contractors not discriminate against anything. So the fact you revoked it is would you agree that's a good thing, or would you disagree?
Host, how old are you?
I'm 19.
Did you vote?
No.
Gotcha.
He's just a rage baiter.
Me?
Yeah.
I
How am
actually
I a
have
rage baiter?
reasons. You're not going to be able to have a conversation with them. Do you actually want to hear why people support Trump, or are you going to continue with this exchange?
Well, I already asked why he supported Trump, and he said, why not support Trump? And I gave him 2 reasons, and he just called me desperate.
All he's going to do is insult you. You might as well move on.
Okay, cool.
King, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so I'll give you we can go one reason at a time. And the first reason I want to give you is the funding that he's cut. One department that he cut funding from was the NIH. I have no idea why we're giving the NIH so much money, especially when the incentive should be to make, especially in a free enterprise capitalist society, your incentive should be the customer. That your consumer should be the person giving you the most money, not the government. And I stand silent on that. Could we at least agree on that?
I can agree.
So that's not the only department he cut funding for. He cut millions of dollars for programs that were spreading, whether it be pro-democratic or pro-alphabet community, they're spreading, the wonders of America all over the world in countries that people have never heard of. And we're looking at money in the 6 and 7 figures, right? Cut that. Another thing he wants to do is dismantle the Department of Education. I think decentralizing the power of the government is the complete opposite of being a fascist. The more power you give the states is the further away you move from fascism, in my opinion, especially when you talk about a tyrannical takeover. It's hard to say you're running a tyranny when you give all the powers back to the states on every single issue, right?
So he isn't actually giving any of that power to the states. He's essentially pushing for a shadow dictatorship. I don't say that lightly. Also, you said that he's removed funding for the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. You really think that having less funding for healthcare is what this country needs?
And I'm going to break it down for you because a lot of people call him a fascist. It doesn't need to get their money from the government. It definitely needs funding. But unfortunately for you, that funding stops as soon as the NIH starts doing something to who those cures are for. It's not for the government. Hopefully that makes sense.
Okay, I can get behind that. So, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, absolutely. But there's plenty of stuff he did wrong. But I'm just saying, what I support him for, because that's what the question is up on the board. But if you want to get into what he did wrong, we can. I just wanted to give a few reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. For one, his big, beautiful bill, he took, it's horrible if you really looked at it. He literally defunded so many things and allocated them into like, it doesn't take effect until 2026, but as soon as that bill takes place, I mean, we're going to just be in more depth. He, like, let me see, let me pull it up. Hold on. But like it's and he did do some good stuff, but like besides because his border laws, okay, that's fine, coming the right way, that's fine, and then a few other things were fine, but I feel like he really has not done any real type of useful legislation. He's just taken away so many things.
So question, so reversing Roe v. Wade is not real legislation, right?
Overturning Roe v. Wade was bullshit. I don't know. You supported that? You supported that?
It was
that was fucking bullshit.
Women in America.
You can say
that
it's bullshit, right?
The biggest step back ever. The biggest step back in the world. I'm not even counting that. I'm not going to count that. That was the biggest step back. I hope the next president can put that back, because that shit was weird. That's like a health thing. That shit was weird to me. Okay. But and then half the men. Young King, you gonna keep talking over me? Or you're gonna let me?
Yes, bro. You're not letting anybody get their
my thing is overturning Roe v. Wade was stupid. We're not talking about.
Bro, she said it's not legislation. It is explicitly legislation.
Did I? First off, that's...
You want to keep muting me. She's just spreading...
I didn't mute you. I'm not even mod. I don't have that power. But Young King, hold up, Young King. So you consider that a useful form of... How does that help anything, really, besides take away...
That's how I know you weren't listening to me.
Hold up, Young King. That's fine. You can continue to overpower and talk over. Just like you did with Cody. You're not about to do that shit with me. So calm down. Know your place. Number one, know your place.
I'm over you. I'm just responding to you.
Number one, know your place, because you're not some old black man that can talk to me anyhow. I'm not going to take that shit.
Is it legislation?
Not
from
you.
Just answer the question. Stop.
Not from you.
Why are you getting so offensive?
And I'm not even. I'm literally.
Can you stay on point, please?
Hold up, Young Kings. I don't even know what point you're trying to make. You voted for Trump, but then you don't
listen and let me talk.
Anything he did. So it's like weird.
So Lex, all King is saying is that he's done some good things. He recognizes the bad things that Trump has done, and he's wondering if the process he took to overturn Roe v. Wade was legislation. Yes, but overall, that was harmful legislation. And like you said,
before you guys continue,
that was a massive step back.
She said that
it's a massive step back for me and my.
She said he's done no legislation, and then
he has.
If you
really look at it, that first off, all he's done is executive orders. Those aren't
legislation. Is that legislation?
Those are not. If you actually look up what a legislative act, look at it. First off, I'm not going to go back and forth with you, Young King. If you really look,
very smart for you not to go back and forth with me, because I'm going to dissect everything you say.
Oh my goodness, I'm sure you have, because you don't do anything except go on TikTok channels and talk about politics. That's fine, but listen to me, Young King. You're change your opinion. We can come to a middle ground, but my thing is, Young King, I'm thinking you just voted for Trump because you just did not want to even consider anybody else, aka doesn't have Big Mala or whatever, but you just voted for Trump blindly is what it seems like, because you know that.
So you're not listening at all.
You're not listening to me either, and that's okay, because it's typical of you people. It's typical of you people to do that.
So that's how I know you don't want to find a common ground. So again, I'm going to give a couple of reasons why. I did vote for him. His stance on a few topics, and especially his stance on the T part of the alphabet community, is one thing that stood out for me. It looks like he's the only one that had the courage to stand up to how much power they were getting. Although I don't necessarily agree with his divisive language, there's something about your phrase saying, I want to make America great again and I want us all to be together. And then you turn around and it seems like you're being nasty towards the left. You're becoming the very thing.
Wait, what are you talking about? What party do you think I'm a part of?
Would you allow me to land? and then you'll
No,
understand what I'm
because you're
trying to
making
say.
like wrong characters.
No.
Like I'm just trying to see what
You
party you
can't.
think I'm a part of.
I'm not
Lex,
talking about
hold
you
on,
and
hold
responding
on.
to you
Yeah,
at all.
Cody, hold on,
Made
sweetheart.
any
I'm trying to
assumptions
listen to what
about
he's
you.
saying.
What I was saying had nothing to do with you. So let me land the plane.
I wasn't sure where you were
He's trying
going.
to say
Go
that
ahead.
his phrase is "Make America Great Again," and the last
Right.
thing he's doing is making America great again by being extremely divisive and talking disrespectfully and demeaning and divisive to the left and calling them names like fat, lazy slobs and stuff like that. If your goal is to bring us all together, you probably shouldn't be talking about the opposing side like that.
So why did you vote for him? Because he was like that before anyway.
I completely agree. I voted for him because he's closer to my conservative values than anyone on the left has been in a few years.
So what values
Okay.
do you have?
So yeah, my values are conservative values. So I'm a Christian conservative. So that's usually what they're based off of.
So is there stuff like...
Curious, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Would you vote for a someone who aligns more conservatively if they were a fascist?
Absolutely not. Fascism does not align with conservatism.
So Trump fits the definition of a fascist, which would be some ultranationalistic person who by design is attempting to consolidate.
What tenets of fascism has
Ultranationalism. Would we agree that Trump is ultranationalistic?
correct?
He's also
Okay, great. So that's
authoritarian.
that's
You're
number one.
wrong.
Wait,
So
hold on. Let's go.
But hold up. Guess who else was? Barack Obama. Does that make him?
Sure. Okay.
No. See, you have to meet more than one. You cannot just meet one.
Wait, hold on. You cut me off halfway through. Wait, hold on. Wait, can you stop? Trying to. Okay, listen. You cut me off halfway through, and you expect me to like how the fuck? If you cut me off, how am I going to give the other qualifiers that is Matt? Like, are you okay? Like,
Are you gonna let me respond? Are you gonna let me respond, or are you asking rhetorical questions?
I asked you. I asked you.
You're
You're kind of delusional right now. I asked you. Do you think Trump is ultranationalist? And I said, okay, and then you cut me off because I was about to go on to whether or not he was attempting to consolidate power.
So no, there was a rhetorical question. You didn't want me to answer. I was trying to answer the question.
What I was asking you a question. Do you think Trump is ultranationalist? That was not a rhetorical question. It's just a yes or no.
Okay, so will you let me answer, or did you want to keep going?
Is it a yes or a no?
Answer, because he'll know what he has to say, and he knows he's going to sound
Yeah,
contradictory.
being ultra-nationalist doesn't make you a fascist. I mean, that's clear.
Okay, so you know how I gave multiple parts of the definition? So that's really smart of you, how you think that definitions are only one part, but you know. So
Can I ask you a question in response, or?
Sure, brother.
So would you consider patriotism ultra-nationalism?
No.
Is there a difference between ultranationalism and patriotism?
Because of my previous response, the response now is obviously yes. So, I mean, unless you can't track, there's no reason for the second question.
Thank you. I will rescind my answer and say I classify him as a patriot, not an ultranationalist.
Fantastic. So I think ultranationalism would be indicative of things such as discounting/renaming, avoiding all social international boundaries, trying to restrict yourself from all types of global collaborative efforts, such as what Trump has been doing, denying certain global international cultural values, which Trump has been doing, and then not only just putting yourself above, because that's patriotism, but putting yourself above and then excluding everyone else. That was what I would consider to be ultranationalism, such as what the tariffs aim to do. So I would consider them to be very strict and obvious examples of ultranationalism, not just patriotism, because patriotism doesn't extend this far, and I think it's very silly to say that you're just being patriotic in these circumstances. And then the second qualifier I was going to introduce was that he is centralizing power. He's overriding certain things in which the legislative branch would have to get into. He ignored SCOTUS agreements. He fired, I'm pretty sure in the first 2 weeks of office, he fired some attorney generals, or he fired some inspector generals, sorry. And in the cabinet, which requires
Does he have the right to do that?
No, he requires well, hold on. He requires a Congress approval to do that. He didn't do that. So he jumps Congress all the time. When he blew up the boat without Congress's approval, that was jumping Congress. He doesn't care about the other branches of government whatsoever.
Guys,
He really doesn't. Thank you, Jinxie. But when he ignored due process to fucking Kablawi Iran, that didn't raise a few red alarm bells in your head.
Doesn't care. The thing is, he doesn't even care about the executive branch, right? He sideskirts literally everyone who isn't just his fucking pen of executive orders, right? He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about SCOTUS. He doesn't care about any other branch of government. that would be.
You guys don't want to talk about any reason why I support him. You guys want to talk about different reasons, which is fine.
You just admitted to knowing he was problematic.
I'm sorry, wait, I'm proving to you that he's a fascist, and now you're switching up the burden. So we're talking about how he's a fascist, right? And I'm proving it pretty adequately, I think, right?
Yeah, you're proving it adequately enough for him to want to be like, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, but we're not going to let that happen. So I'm just curious.
Right.
Do you have a response to the proof
I
that
do
I've
have
given
a
so
response,
far?
but you guys aren't letting me respond because he didn't even meet the first qualifier. He's obviously a patriot, and
Okay, so can you like show me?
What I mean by I can't respond.
Wait,
I'm trying
hold
to
on.
break
Did you
down
just
what
call
said.
Trump a
It's
patriot?
just dishonest. Like I've given you the proof, and your evidence is your argument against it is just
No, let's
he's
get
a
into your
patriot.
proof because your proof isn't proof of ultra-nationalism. It's proof of patriotism. And
What would be proof of ultranationalism for
Can
you?
you allow me to respond?
I am. You know, you can
One of
respond
your
while I'm
examples that
asking
you
you
gave-
questions, or
One
you.
of the examples that you have to listen. One of the examples that you gave was he doesn't want to be involved with global affairs. He doesn't want to bring other people up to the level that we're up to. He only wants
That
to be.
wasn't the argument I made.
So correct me where I'm wrong. What were you alluding to? What were you
Yeah,
trying
sure.
to
The argument I was making is that you can put your country first, and that's patriotism, sure. But if you put your country first and then try and actively negotiate in some level of supremacy and hegemony over every single other country in a way that negatively affects all those other countries, that would be a form of ultranationalism.
That's not what you said before, but
Not
I'm
to
glad you
mention,
said that.
not to
that is
mention,
exactly what I said.
really quick. Sorry, I just want to jump in on that. If he was really putting America first, we would not be funding Israel's healthcare and education. Completely. It's universal.
Well, I agree. I don't know what our obsession with Israel is. I have no idea what it's all about, and I agree. But I also agree that they're not the only country getting money or aid from us. Can we agree on that too?
Yeah, obviously not. But I'm just curious. Well, hold on. Can I ask you one question, Young? Like,
But
what
hold on, I was
what
trying
thing
to
would
respond.
qualify for you to be ultranationalistic? Like, 'cause it feels like nothing would.
No, I was trying to respond. I don't want my response to get interrupted too much here. You said that I want to make sure we're on the same page. He was negatively affecting other countries by putting America in a spot of supremacy is the word you used, right? Supremacy?
I said he was enforcing American hegemony, which, like, with the informed intent to disrupt and destroy the other countries, yeah.
Attempt to destroy the other countries. What countries has he destroyed?
Disrupt or destroy. It's an intent.
Right.
It doesn't mean that he succeeds. So
Correct.
he
And
pretty
what
much did
attempt-
that with
and what
Iran.
attempt
He did
would that
that with when he like maxed tariff China. That was an attempt to destroy the international or global economy. Because I don't know if you know this, but internationally, if you're using shipping routes, you're going to bounce off America a lot, and it's going to be an extremely powerful thing because they're the biggest trading partner on the on the American continent. So they're going to be like a really big pivotal player. And if you're going to tariff the fuck out of them, then it's going to be an active. Like there are ways to bolster or negotiate through the tariffs.
So you're
in a way which isn't ultra-nationalistic, which is why I'm asking you if you think that the thing I've just described, so the hegemonic dominance over every other country, because you believe in like some firm America dominance, right? If you believe that that isn't ultra-national, then what would you consider to be ultra-nationalistic? Like, what can you give me one example? Like, because I feel like even at this point, if I showed you like Schmancy policies, you'd be like, I don't know if they're Nazi, I don't know if they're ultra-nationalistic or not. I think they're just very patriotic, and it's like, I don't really know, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you give me an example?
In order for you to be ultra nationalistic, you actually have to do something that is ultra nationalistic. And when we
I'm
use
asking you for an example. What one of those things would be? I know it's like hard to track right now.
An example of one of those things absolutely would not be putting a tariff in place.
Okay, this is a deflection. This is a deflection. This isn't a real response.
Hold on, everybody.
Guys,
See how I can't
Hold
even
on.
finish a sentence?
No,
Squeeze
it's not a real
it in.
response.
You just don't want to.
I'm literally
No,
answering his
that's-
question. I'm about to give him an example
sorry.
of ultranationalism. He wanted.
Guys, there
Young,
was
I
something.
really appreciate that. Really quick, sorry, and then Jinxie, I'll let you speak. But I just want to give props to Young for being the only op up here. I feel like we should let him finish his fucking sentences, though, right?
Yeah,
If we
of
want that
course.
courtesy returned to us, we gotta do that for him,
Yeah, of course.
okay? Jinxie, go ahead.
Yeah, I was basically going to say the same thing. I was also going to say you're not really answering the question. You're just saying that, well, ultra-nationalistic isn't putting tariffs in place. It's just patriotic, and
Well,
he's
allow me to
asking.
finish the answer because I was just about to give an example of
You
ultranationalism.
were
But the
just
only reason
getting
why I
onto
hadn't
people
said
for
that first is
interrupting you.
because my initial claim was getting interrupted and I got muted. So I had to finish my initial
I
thought.
muted everyone.
Interrupted by
For
3
your
people.
information, I muted everyone.
Okay, I got muted. I'm a part of everyone, so I'm allowed to restate what I got muted in the middle of me saying it. I just wanted to restate it to make it clear. But if I could finish my sentence, that's not ultranationalism. An example of ultranationalism would be doing something ultranationalist, like getting rid of everybody that's not your nation by unaliving them. So that's a great example of that horrible group that you brought up, something that they did that I 100% consider ultranationalism. But if you in any way think that the Republican Party today is equivalent to that group, I don't know how to help you at all. There's nothing I could say to
great.
have us meet on the. Let me finish.
That's fine.
There's
That's
nothing
great.
hold up. Let me finish, guys. Please. If you are going to equate the current Trump administration to that group, which was absolutely horrendous and horrible, they have done nothing that group has done. They have not achieved anything that group has achieved. It's the most evil group in history.
Can I say something?
Are you sure that?
Go ahead, guys.
Go ahead.
That was a response to me, at least.
Oh, okay, go ahead then.
Yeah, right. I just want to say for the interruption stuff. I mean, this guy was interrupting everyone, so I'm not a pro on the we have to set a good example. I think if someone sets the tone like that, then that's will be the tone. I feel as though it is brain-numbingly delusional to believe that just because you're not G-siding literally everyone else, that you're not ultra-nationalistic. I think that's an extremely unrealistic and super-duper-duper high bar. So that would qualify people like the Schmatzis in 1933, 29, 28, when they were classified as ultra-nationalistic by every historian, every geopolitician, every foreign policy spokesperson at the time, that they were ultra-nationalistic. They would consider them to just be patriotic. That is so unbelievably silly.
Yeah, and I mean, Smittler started off as just patriotic before his rhetoric became kind of weird, and then it did turn into G-side. So that's all.
No, he didn't even start off as patriotic. This is the difference. Patriotism is when you outline that you believe that you should prioritize internally your own country. Ultranationalism is where you try and impose your country upon others, okay? America does this a lot, right? I would say that the Trump administration is the most ultranationalistic administration in America's history, right? And this is so. What do you mean? I've just given you an
Normal behavior. It really isn't. It is the very beginning. Well, not even the very beginning. We're getting towards the middle, honestly, of starting a race war, starting a civil war. That is just the other day in Oregon, he said, you know what, I'm going to have the army go into Oregon and be able to use as much force as they want against citizens that are protesting peacefully. So what is your response to that? Is that just patriotic?
Yeah, so of course, rounding people up in a plane and dumping them in the ocean is not patriotic. That is actually psychotic, and I think that's horrible. And if they're doing that, that's an example of doing something that I think that horrible group we mentioned earlier would do. That sounds like something they would do. Can I respond, or is somebody else going to say something? I feel like I need to mute and let somebody else talk.
Wait, I just wanted to say, if they weren't here illegally, then they wouldn't end up in those situations. You know what I mean?
So you think it's okay to treat those people like that?
Never did I say that. I've never said that.
Not you. I was talking to the guy below who was like, it wouldn't happen. It's like the same argument that people make when it's like, if you didn't wear that when you went out, you wouldn't have gotten gripped. Like, please.
Well, I would like to say that white people are here illegally. Should I just go behead a bunch of them?
Okay, so again, can I respond now? Can I respond? So again, it's going to be hard for you to find people who are going to say, yes, doing these things are okay. And I think that's a great thing about this country is just because we support him doesn't mean we support psychotic, illegal activity. That's wrong. You need to stop doing that, period. And you told me you want me to look this up. When I look up ICE, what I'm going to actually see is that ICE had a detainee that ended up getting unalived. ICE had someone they were trying to get and they ran into the house and left their 5-year-old child in the car, right? So these are the things I'm seeing when it comes to immigration. It looks like you guys are seeing a totally different side of immigration that I've never seen. But if I see that side of immigration, I'm not going to say, look at all these bad things happening to people. That's really good. No, those are actually really bad things. I just don't believe they're happening.
Okay, wait, well, you have to specific,
really
you have to look it up
quick,
specifically.
guys. Yeah.
Like,
You're experiencing something called confirmation bias, and that happens a lot, especially with algorithms and stuff like that. So, and I was typing this out in chat, but I feel like it's really important to mention. Hold on. I do want to mention that German citizens had no idea what was happening. Urged ICE to.
if you speak Spanish out in public or any other language out in public, you are possible of getting detained by ICE as well. Sorry, I just had to add that in.
Yeah, so that's one of the 4 things he said to look for, right? Number 1 is the color of their skin. Number 2 is speaking Spanish or English with an accent. Number 3 is being in a specific location, like a church or a day laborer site. And number 4, other than, just basic
Yeah, so I typed in alligator Alcatraz and it put me to South Florida detention facility. So I just wanted to I did look up what you guys wanted me to look up.
So I want you to look up specifically 1,200 people missing from alligator Alcatraz, and that will get you to where you need to be. All right? Because just looking up the detention center, it's not going to give you the information that you need.
Because hold up, because how is that not confirmation bias? Because initially you told me to just look up alligator Alcatraz, right? So this is what I mean by it. No matter what I do, you're gonna make me look like a bad person.
We told you to look up what was happening there.
Hold up, let me finish. I'll let you guys finish. So now I'm gonna specifically look up 1,200 people missing from alligator Alcatraz, right? But can we at least agree that that is confirmation bias, though?
Confirmation bias is
Really?
when you're scrolling down TikTok and it shows you ICE is doing such a great job, and you're like, yeah, they are. It's algorithm based.
I looked up what you said about illegals being dropped in the ocean. It says that's not happening whatsoever.
Are you looking at foreign resources? Because when foreign resources have more information on what's happening in our country than we do right now, actually.
I mean,
If you have a VPN, look it up, man.
And all these northern news sources say that ICE deportations are being accused of throwing illegals into the ocean. That's not true whatsoever.
So the bodies washing up are not real. Okay.
Okay, so what about the people that are trying to swim across into America or try to take little rafts or boats into America?
I don't think people with shackles usually swim across oceans.
Shackles? they don't try to flee their country.
With shackles tying their hands so close to their bodies and their feet. Yes, I don't think that's really. I think more people have common sense not to try to swim in an ocean.
Also, alligator Alcatraz is literally only meant for the illegals who are doing, or for the ones that did the insane crimes of for instance, the most recent one would be the illegal. What was it? It was an illegal man who did a little chop to a man's head in front of his family because he wasn't getting his way at his job, and that was his boss.
Well, the argument is that no one deserves to be, offed.
I don't know.
That man he did that to. That man he did that to doesn't deserve to be offed. Neither does he.
What do you mean? If you want a life,
We should send him to North Korea.
And an illegal beheads that person. That person should get the. He should get what the Tyler Robinson guy is about to get.
Needs to be offed.
So
You mean not far right guy?
really quick. This is the epitome of a straw man argument, which in its entirety is the lack of an argument. You're not speaking to the facts that we have, that over 1,200 people have gone missing from Alligator Alcatraz, right? And heat signals from Alligator Alcatraz have shown that there have been organic compounds burning for over 11 hours. Where else have we seen this in history?
Exactly.
Yahtzee, Germany, 1930.
Exactly. Thank you, Jinxy. So if something in your mind is not computing about this, slow, I think you may want to switch around the pronouns in your username there.
What?
Okay? Okay.
What are his pronouns?
I also think you need to wait. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
when you're not talking, can you mute? Because it is so annoying.
Jeez. Let's see, Ari.
Did he mute or did someone mute him?
I
don't
thought
know.
Cowboy Cap was in the middle of a sentence.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I just said that he needed to mute when he's not talking. Like, something's going on where it's sounding terrible.
Yeah, Jinxie, you've got some feedback going on.
Okay, cool. I don't really care. August 19th, Herald published another story based on the second list. The outlet obtained 1,400 detainees. I'm just gonna read this on mute. Detainees' names. The reporters did not list each name on the roster as they did in the July 14th story. In the second story, reporters compared the two datasets. They searched names on the detainee locator system for
This was just one source, explaining how, there's not even a list of the names of all those people you guys are saying that are missing. There's no names for any of them. So unless they just never had a name or anything,
Don't believe what you read on that website.
and I'm not going to believe what I read on this website. I'm going to also put up the Department of Homeland Security as well. Can I not listen to them?
Well, the thing is that there's a lot of families putting up the names of their
ran by
families.
foreigners, so they.
Cowboy Crap was in the middle of a sentence. Don't interrupt.
There's a lot of families showing proof, photos, and videos of their loved ones getting detained. Their names, their things about them, and then they're like, actually I can't look them up. They said they're going here. They transferred them here, and they're not here. Where are they at? That is the whole point. The whole point is that they are not documenting these people that they are offing. There's so many families that are like, I'm so scared. Where is my husband? Where's my daughter? Where's my whatever? And they tell them, hey, they're ending up at Alcatraz, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And they try to look them up. They try to find them, and they can't find them. And they freak out because guess what? They're killing them. Oh, my bad. I'm off. I'll go off real quick.
So, when you try to compare, America or the people that did things in Germany, back in the day, what the difference is between Germany and America? We're not invading a country and then rounding up a bunch of people who are actually in their country and then unaliving them. People coming into our own country already breaking the law because they're illegals. They're breaking.
I'm just curious, really quick. Do you think that the NSDAP from 1925 to 1937 were A-OK or not?
Do what?
Was the NSDAP A-OK from? Okay, so that's the real name for the Schmatzi Party before they reformed.
Well, again, they were invading.
Hold on really quickly, right? They only invaded in 1939. Okay, so from 1937 to, from 1925-ish, 24 to 1937, would you say that the NSDAP was A-OK and just completely fine?
Well, I mean, what do you mean? I don't think they were. When did they start rounding people up? I don't know why
they started rounding people up in 1939.
Okay, this is exactly what my source said.
See, hold on. This is the issue when you're trying to make.
Wait. So it was a military. It was a military party at one point, right?
No, it actually wasn't. It was never a military party. It wasn't a coup.
It's a social party.
So the NSDAP was a Nationalist Socialist Party. They obtained power legally because they got the votes for it. So I don't understand where this like idea of a coup was. And talk about the Munich Putsch, which was in 1923, and then they had an entire party reformation after that. So I was just really confused. Like, do you understand the history behind like the Schmatzis? Do you understand the early ideologies or not? Like, if not, then don't make claims about it. But you know,
I wasn't the one making claims. I was saying someone was trying to compare what we're doing to.
Yeah, I would say that the Trump administration shares extremely close ties to the NSDAP from 1925 to 1937. Yeah, I'd say that's generally true.
That's not true at all. I mean,
okay, well, where's the symmetry breaker?
Where's your knowledge of history?
Well, why would it be the same if you're rounding up people in your own country who literally...
Because they did that too. So they did that to the Jews in 1933. They had a Palestine Act where they said, listen, okay, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to round you up and we're going to tell you guys, come on, wink, wink, let's go to Palestine. And then they shipped them all off to Palestine, or at least a large quantity of the Jewish population in Germany, especially in Munich, was shipped off to Palestine. They did that pretty commonly, pretty actively. In 1937, they did that again. In 1936, they did it. I mean... Then here's the issue is that like they didn't care about the rights of these people in the same way that Trump didn't care about the rights when he invoked the Alien Enemies Act, which was struck down by the Supreme Court. So they share pretty closely in their ideology and action during these time periods.
Okay, hold up. Let me get in here because I was told to go look up 1,200 people missing from Alcatraz, and I looked it up, and I looked at more than 3 sources, and I put up 2. One of them you guys told me not to believe. The other one is the same thing that Cody put up, and it said that there are around 800 people that were detained that weren't in the system, and that about 450 of them weren't processed yet. And if you have information, you can call them. And it doesn't say that they disappeared off the grid, and it doesn't say anything about. Well, hold up, let me finish. And it also doesn't say anything about they got dropped off of planes and they're getting washed up on beaches on shore, or that they're underwater and there's shackles in the ocean. I think if I looked up 1,200 people missing and what you guys claimed before, that is what all the sources would be saying. So I want you guys to bring up when you say they're dropping people out of planes and they're in the water. I want you guys to pull that up because this is one of the examples you're saying. Just let me finish real quick. This is one of the examples that you guys are saying makes Trump and the Trump administration a fascist, and it's what is equating him to being a Yahtzee, right? I didn't say that there are no parallels between the two. I just said you can't equate the two because they're not equal, right? Just because I drink water and the Yahtzees drink water doesn't mean I'm a Yahtzee. So there can be a similarity here or there, especially if you're a conservative, especially if you have Christian values, but that doesn't mean you can immediately equate them.
Right. So I think you're taking the articles a little bit biased.
This is saying the exact
Another
same
source.
thing.
Listen, don't interrupt me. I had the same courtesy for you, Young. That was impolite, dude. Very impolite. Okay, I'm going to finish what I'm saying. Cowboy, we'll go to you. Everyone, look at what Jinxy has on screen. So you're saying that they were just never in the database, which is untrue. Their records have vanished from the database. And so I was incorrect about the numbers. My bad. That doesn't change the fact that 800 people were detained, sent to Alligator Alcatraz, and have now vanished. Like they were never there. It also doesn't change the fact that the heat signature, 11 hours, organic compounds. We've seen this in history before. You can argue pedantics all you would like, but the facts are still there, and you've seen the facts, and you can take them however you want, but the way that you're taking them is justifying those actions. All right, thank you. Hold your thoughts. Cowboy, go ahead.
I also, I want you to, if you do, I want you to get a VPN. And do you know Spanish? Actual question, Young.
Not enough to read an article, no.
Okay. Well, you should get a translator. And I want you to look through with a VPN, of course, and look at different countries' reportings on it. Because that's where the proof is, okay? America has control of its media. And this is where I'm going to sound a little stupid or crazy or whatever, but we are purposely being fed only certain things so we don't figure out the whole puzzle, right? But different countries are being fed different things. I have a friend in Canada, a French Canadian. He's talked about a lot of this, and I've known 2 people in Mexico who's talked a lot about this, and they talked about how like there's definitely people not coming back. And the thing is we like to think, okay, we know everything. Our country is on our side, but in reality, they don't want us knowing much. Okay, it's just you need to go find outside resources. You need to go find people who are outside of our country who know more. Because unfortunately, in our country, we're idiots right now because we don't know the full thing that's going on. And that's just the truth. And it's scary, but it's true.
Can I respond, please?
Go ahead.
So I just vehemently disagree with you. I think we have the #1 intelligence agency on the planet. And I'm also going to say I'm going to look up everything you guys tell me to look up. I'm not being disingenuous, right? I've looked up everything you told me to look up and corrected myself when I looked it up incorrectly. I'm asking you guys to please look up and show me they're getting dropped out of the plane. All their bodies are underwater, and it's because of Trump. I really need you guys to pull that up and show that to me because I don't think you can substantiate that.
Just to clarify, like in Charlie's, I wasn't calling you disingenuous because of like you searching up the source or anything. I was calling you disingenuous because of the water analogy that you made. The clear argument or the clear distinction or the claim that we're making is that, hey, by the way, look at all of these things that the Trump administration is doing. Aren't these indicative of the same types of behaviors which were performed in a similar, fascist environment?
Just let me land real quick, V, because you'd make more sense if you were substantiating anything you're saying that he's doing. And the fact that you have the right to say what he's doing lets you know that he's not ultranational.
Okay, I will literally
just let me finish
we are
real quick.
substantiated.
Just let me finish it real quick. You haven't pulled up anything that substantiated anything you said. And I'm the only one that actually pulled up anything at all. But let's be honest here. I want to give you an example of ultranationalism, and this is where you guys will have a much better claim of claiming that Trump is a fascist. Give the example of when he actually controlled the media, which he doesn't. She tried to make the claim that, yes, Trump controls the media, so you will never know anything about this because you don't have to go to another country and look these things up. Unfortunately, he does not control the media. There's no examples of him controlling the media, and the media actually keeps us informed. But when they don't and they spew false information, it's not his responsibility, but he's allowed to call them out on it because they're liable for giving out false information, especially when they have millions of people following them. So when you have examples of people controlling the media and saying the media can't say this about us, the media can't say that about us, that's an example of ultranationalism because you want this country to only be talked about in a good manner. And it's similar to the dictator over there in, Korea, where you can't talk bad about your nation at all whatsoever. Or you know what's going to happen. You're going to be in a prison camp for generations, right? That's an example of ultranationalism. I know you guys wanted to make it seem like I have no idea what I'm talking about earlier when I brought up, Trump isn't an ultranationalist. I just think you guys are grossly misinterpreting what the word ultranationalism actually is. And I think we're equating it too loosely and using the term fascist and ultranationalist way too loosely. There's very clear examples across the world, and we are nowhere near like them. We are still completely free in this country today.
Really quick. So you say that he isn't controlling the media, but since 2022, he's said over 100 times, threatening to jail his critics. First one that pops up, right? He claims it's illegal for media to write bad about him. Okay, and there's hundreds of articles like this. And then you say that he doesn't control the media. Okay, what about the deal that he proposed to put TikTok under control of U.S. investigators? His all-American TikTok deal gives big stake to Middle East investors. The TikTok deal would turn Trump's allies' dreams of control into reality. President Trump signs off on TikTok deal that values U.S. app at $14 billion. Trump approves TikTok deal, and it gives more time. So I just feel like you haven't quite seen both sides of the argument to the extent that you feel you have. It's so frustrating, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, because you're saying that he doesn't do these things, that we're not, showing those same parallels that V has pointed out relentlessly, that we're leading up to this. You continue to fight against the fact that he is ultra-nationalistic, despite having years of evidence otherwise. And you know what? Maybe so did other presidents, but never to the degree that Donald Trump did and has. Real quick, before I open up the panel again, I'm going to share with you a statistic. Okay, it's one of my favorite statistics. During Trump's
Can I
first
respond to that
term,
though first? Because you have the statistic pulled up, so you won't forget it. I don't want to forget this.
Listen. Shut up real quick and just listen.
I'm going to forget this point. Just she has it pulled up so she can read it right afterwards. Okay, you just brought up TikTok as an example of him controlling the media, correct?
yes.
You're on TikTok, but hold up. You're on TikTok right now criticizing him, and you're not the only one that does it. And as a matter of fact, there are certain things you can't say on TikTok, but when you say it, your live gets strucken down. So an ultranationalist would actually get your live strucken down for critiquing them. Wouldn't you agree? Or
No, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me respond. That is so silly. When you make the claim, like, this is what you do, you're saying that we're being, like, too flimsy with the term ultranationalist, etc. You are setting the standard in space for ultranationalism, okay? Because what you're doing is you're saying every single content stream or content monitor has to be monitored to such a degree where critiquing the state is impossible. While this may be true in places where they have had an ultranationalist fascist dictatorship for over 50 years, such as North Korea, right? Because they've had a massive dictatorship for many, many, many years, where it's super duper established. We're not making the argument right now that we are living in a fascist environment. What we're saying is...
Thank you, B.
Wait, hold on, just let me finish. What we are saying is that the current administration is alluding to something called pseudo-fascism, which is the form that society takes prior to a fascist dictatorship being installed, officially, right? So we're showing you using a bunch of analogies to other dictatorships, specifically the Weimar Germany. And we're saying, well, look at all of these similarities that we're seeing here. This is a massive, massive, massive issue. And then you're saying, well, he's not ultranationalist because he doesn't have established control. The fact is that he's threatened critics who were not deforming him of being sued, which I'm sure you seem at least somewhat sensible. You understand that a normal guy suing someone for defamation isn't the same as the president of the United States. But there's so much.
I am sensible. You need to be sensible too. Defamation is defamation. It doesn't matter.
Well, hold on. Well, defamation is defamation, sure. But the issue was that these people weren't deforming his character or anything like that. They were making true statements about him. And then secondly was that they was just trying to get their story struck down from fear of having someone who has the entire who has total executive power in the system, who was centralizing more power. Wait, hold on, listen. You
are you referring to?
Interrupting and all this shit, but okay, listen. So when you make that point, it's very silly. And the fact is that he's making these points to this is how Joseph Goebbels lodged very specific complaints and warnings, pseudo warnings to media companies, radio stations for the exact type of thing where they would echo the loud part or the silent parts of the movement loudly, and he would strike them down, right? And this is seen all over the place. I mean, if you want to deny that Trump's administration has fascistic elements, I just don't see whether the logic is this is more of a sidebar, but even look at Kirk's memorial. There was 5 people who went up there and bar for bar copied Goebbels' speeches. Now I'm not sure, but parroting the literal schmatzy narrative pieces at their talks and rallies, I'm not sure that's a good thing. Talking about the storm and the poison of the people and so it's just a bit crazy to me.
Yes, and really quickly, you say that he's not even referring to anything. So I'm going to read to you this article from MSN.com, right? You can Google Trump has threatened to jail his critics. Should be the first article that pops up. More than 100 times since 2022, Trump has threatened to punish people who disagree with him, according to a tally by National Public Radio. He calls journalists the enemy of the people, anyone who disagrees with him, evil, and says critics are an enemy within, more dangerous to the nation than Russian President Vladimir Putin or Chinese President Xi Jinping. Trump's language echoes fascist throughout history, and his longest-serving chief of staff retired. John Kelly says we should take him seriously when he says things like this. This is a direct quote. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, Trump told Fox Sunday's Morning Futures. It should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by the National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen. And the article goes on. Okay, and as for the statistic that I didn't get to share, right, during Trump's first term, he made 30,573 false or misleading comments, which is an average of 21 per day, right? In Biden's first 100 days in office, he made 78. So what Biden lied about in 100 days, Trump did that in a week or less.
And I'm going to say real quick before I go, because I'm going to leave, I highly suggest anyone who is conservative reads the book, The Brainwashing of My Dad. You can be conservative. I honestly considered myself conservative before the new conservative came on. It's clearly turned in not to conservatism, but something else.
Yep.
Please educate yourself. Please read books. Please learn what you are following and don't follow blindly. That is how something bad happens. All right. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Cowboy. It was a pleasure to have you. If you think truly, honestly, genuinely that trillions of dollars worth of propaganda has not worked on you, it's worked on you. Trump has said verbatim, educated people don't like me. And I want you to think about why that is.
Oh, similar to how in 1936 they struck education down in Germany. Oh no!
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
now.
you were muted.
Okay, yeah. Who wants to respond first?
Well, I think Cody gave you the stats to support what I was saying. I like the articles. I'm not at my piece.
Yeah, and which one of those articles did Trump arrest media outlet for?
It's not about arrest. It's about threats of arrest can coerce people into certain actions, and
it's about threats. It's about threats of what? V?
Yeah, so it's about threats of legal action, right? With
what legal action has been taken?
Well, do you understand the threat is not the same as the thing itself? So that's the difference.
So he hasn't taken any legal action.
Wait, okay, so you're being really dishonest right now because you're not engaging with my point. Two is that
I'm actually in the midst of responding, but I'm going to let you give your qualifiers when I'm done.
Okay, let's not do this.
That's why I asked you what I wanted to respond to first.
You should be in extreme good faith. Okay, so I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you. I'm just going to tell you that the threat of legal action under the weight of the entire government apparatus is going to be an incentive and a coercing factor regardless of if he follows through with any of those actions. I'm pretty sure he actually did follow through with some of these actions. When you say see how you couldn't respond, that's just not the claim I'm making. You're just throwing on me because you're shit. But I'm just saying that in as far as the logic or the statements go, I mean, let's look, right? When Joseph Goebbels was striking down radio stations with threats of Gestapo, with threats of secret agents and stuff like that, would you say that because he didn't actually go into them at that time and blow them all up, that would you say that is... No, that's completely fine. That's okay. He wasn't coercing anyone to do anything. Or do you think all action has to be just actually done? Or do you think coercion just doesn't exist? I'm just curious.
I would definitely appreciate if you would mute up for just 30 seconds. That's all I need, B.
I mean, it depends. Are you going to be dishonest and strawman me?
I'm not going to strawman you at all whatsoever.
Okay, great.
But I'm definitely not answering your question. I'm responding to Cody like I was trying to in the beginning. So basically, what we have here is, he's a fascist, but he hasn't done anything fascist, and we've already agreed. You said he didn't arrest anyone. because he didn't. He didn't take any legal action on anyone because he didn't. He has not done anything that's fascist. We already agreed on that.
I just love when people call someone a fascist, but I don't think they really know what that is.
I didn't say that at all. That's just the biggest strawman ever. I hope you know that. That's literally the most dishonest person I've ever spoke to. I never said that. What I said was, he's not done anything that is like of the nature of like late 1939 like Germany, right? They are different. But what we're saying is that he's echoing pseudo-fascistic policy, and some of these policies are just remain to be true in fascist dictatorships. We're not saying that necessarily we are under the authoritarian dictatorship because we live in, or like you guys live in a democracy, right? But we're saying that this is still a pseudo-fascistic thing, and you should watch out for it. And to say that you are voting for this guy who is actively transforming America into a fascistic state, then I would say that's very silly, and you should recant that. But like, this is such a weird like way to take the claim I made, because that's obviously not what I meant. So if you view that as a concession of what I think, then honestly, you.
But
just
hold on, let's stay right there then. So where did I misinterpret what you said? Because I didn't hear you say he actually took legal action or arrested anybody, right?
Sorry. Okay. So when I talked about coercion, this is the issue, because you was like having a pout and you didn't want to listen to my point. So do you think coercion is a valid form of intimidation or not?
Absolutely not. This isn't even an example of coercion.
So you think if I coerce someone into having smacks, that you think that's okay?
He didn't coerce the media into having smacks.
What are you talking about? It's called an analogy. We're ascertaining whether you think coercion is a valid form of like understanding whether something is a fair and like free thing. Okay. So
yeah, but this is the thing. Let me respond. Let me respond to your question.
The claims I'm making.
Let me respond to your scenario.
Okay. Well. Okay. Sure. So would you say that if you coerce someone to having sex with you, would that be okay for you?
Yeah, if you guys actually have smacks, that is coercion. But if you don't have smacks, then you didn't coerce anyone.
So you think attempted rape is a-okay, but you know,
I didn't say
it's
anything
only when it goes
about
bad. Okay, that's fine.
I didn't say anything about grape. I don't know
That is
what.
grape. If you coerce someone to having sex with you, that is grape.
This is crazy how you shifted the goalposts.
Do you think grape?
I didn't say anything about grape.
Are you that silly?
No, unfortunately, you're the one who sounds silly, because all of a sudden now you're trying to make me sound like some sort of grape enthusiast. I think that, it's pretty clear I don't support grape.
I'm saying that your values coincide with...
What a wild claim.
No, I'm saying your values coincide.
Hold on.
Stop taking victim cards. Okay, you've been doing it the entire life. It's cringe. Like,
hold on. There we go. Okay. So, Young King, you just said that unless they actually get coerced into having smacks, that it would be a-okay. Is that not attempted rape?
No, having smacks isn't grape. It's something totally different. Hold up, because you guys are being very specific with your language.
Young King. Coerce. I think that's the word. Is that the word V-I-E?
So when you coerce, yeah.
Coerce, yeah.
Coerce, yeah, that's when you incite, right? Inspire. Try to talk someone into doing something,
yeah,
right?
Trying to talk someone into doing
if you
something,
coerce someone into smacks, that's definitionally grape.
You sound so silly. It's not even funny. You actually sound like a virgin. So let me respond. Let me respond, V. You sound like a virgin. There's no other way.
Sound like a stupid pussy bitch if you want to go down like the ad hom route, okay? Like, it's cool.
Yeah, let me respond.
I'm just saying, like, you sound unironically stupid, so it's okay.
Just let me.
Yo, I don't know how to fucking pronounce your name. Yo, so like, you're in the UK, right?
Yeah, I live in the UK.
You like all the Muslims running around?
I mean, I don't like any of the extremist Muslims running around, but I don't like that.
I've been watching the news on that too, and I like seeing how they're running around with machetes and,
We've had a knife crime problem before, like, there was massive migration, so...
Yeah, bro, please let me respond, because you guys don't even realize what you just did. Please let me respond, please.
Are you going to respond without giving ad homs, or are you going to keep whining?
So, exactly, we just agreed on what coercing is. It's incitement, right? And inspiring, trying to talk someone into doing something. You guys just said that trying to talk someone into doing something is grape. So you don't know what grape is.
No, we said it's attempted. Grape. Oh my god, please be real.
Me, let me finish.
You're so sick.
Excuse me, let me finish.
Oh my, you're just lying. You're just lying about what we said. We said it's attempted. Do you understand what the word attempted means?
Okay, yes, I do, but you said
clearly not.
You didn't say grape.
We said attempt. So if you're trying to coerce someone into smacks, right? I would say even if they denied that in advance or denied your coercion, that would still be attempted rape.
Okay, now you're adding. You didn't say anything about denying.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. When you said, what if they deny it? I was like, yeah, that would be attempted rape. Do you understand that or not?
I didn't. No one said anything about deny. You just added that word.
You said that before. Am I going insane? Like, can anyone else, like Cody or like Jinxy, he literally made an entire point before about.
I mean, I didn't hear it, but I have it recorded.
You made an entire point before that they're not actually buying into it, though. There is no real action being made.
Yeah, nobody. You never said.
I mean, I have a recording.
They're not buying into it.
Oh my god, you said that. You're so lost. You don't even know your own argument.
I'm saying that I didn't hear. Young King, I swear to God, I muted you for a reason. Jesus Christ. Thank you. So, VIE, you were asking for people to advocate for you. That would not be possible, but I have the entire conversation recorded. So if you want me to pull it up and...
share on your channel, honestly. You can, post that shit to embarrass them. That's so cringe.
Do you want me to go back on the recording and see if he actually said
it? For sure, yeah. Guarantee he makes a claim relative about like, oh, but people aren't actually going through that. He isn't actually performing action on it. And that's when I say, well, okay, well, if people still deny it, deny your coercion, that's still attempted rape. I guarantee that's the point I made in exact sequential order.
An actual physical action. That's why they literally say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You think that if I coerce someone into having sex with me, that's not rape? Oh no.
You're just trying to have sex.
That's like
oh my god, you guys are sick.
Bro.
Who just said that?
No, that's
Who
actually
just
gross.
said that?
That's actually
Bro,
gross.
see, this is the issue. It's like a mask clip every time.
For real. You've been speaking very eloquently. I really appreciate having you up here. Young, you're saying that for someone who does not want schmecks to then be pressured into schmecks, it's not anything bad.
Hold up, I didn't say that. I just looked up what coercion actually means. That's why I asked what it meant, right? I said, does it mean talking someone into doing something? I didn't know that the qualifier for that was threats. Seeing that it's threats, I didn't know that was threatening. Why did you guys just say threatening someone?
Bro, because you were so adamant that you knew it and you wasn't even trying to like give any leeway to anyone. There's no point.
That's why I asked what it meant. I'm like, if I'm not mistaken.
You didn't ask what it meant actually. You just said this is what it means and then you moved on.
No, I said, that's why I said,
we can get the recording up if you want.
Talk somebody into doing it. I'm like trying to talk somebody into doing something. That's not great.
No, but we said coercing. We didn't say like just talking someone into it. I was well, we asked like, is coercing someone into smacks? So the issue was I was trying to figure out whether you care about coercion, right? And I'm saying that Trump coerces the media to comply to him using like extreme pressure from the government and threats because he's saying like, I will sue you if you do this, or I'll go out and ruin your career if you do this. Like he's made these claims, and I'm saying, well, if I were to do the same type of thing and like coerce someone into having sex with me, you would say that you consider that person to be a rapist. Yeah, you would.
That's not the same thing.
What is the symmetry breaker?
The symmetry breaker is, okay, you're talking about committing an actual crime. Coercion is a crime.
God. That's not a real symmetry breaker. I'm talking about the action itself.
But hold up, B, if this is correct, no matter what, coercion is a threat, right?
Coercions, yeah, they contain threats.
Yeah, so if you threaten someone, is that illegal or legal?
No, it's not always illegal. Like, no, that's the thing. For instance, if I'm like, you can make conditional statements which are threats but don't have legally binding power. So if I make a conditional statement such as, if you throw that ball at me one more time, I'm gonna come over and beat you. Like that's a conditional statement. It doesn't hold any legally binding value. So like there are certain threats you can make which are not legally binding.
Exactly, and certain threats that Trump have made aren't legally binding at all whatsoever. So how is
but hold on, and here's the issue: is that we're talking about like a statute of morality here. Is that if someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to release XYZ, or I'm going to do XYZ," I'm going to say that they attempted to rape me in some way. I would say that's an accurate statement. Coercing isn't a crime.
And this is what you're equating what Trump has said about the media. He's going to somehow release something about them or
So
trying to commit some crime
he's
against
explicitly
them.
said before, if I recall correctly, that he would destroy their careers, he would sue them. Suing someone effectively ruins their life. I hope you know that, like, when these people sue for defamation, right, when, like, Trump sues for defamation or anything like that, it's not going to be like, I want, like, 1,000, it's going to be like, I want your entire life savings times 10. That's what I want.
You only get that if you win the suit. If you actually
but it's the threat of the suit and the threat of the legal fees engaging in the suit, because you have to buy for a lawyer, right? You have to buy solicitors. You've got to engage and waste loads of time committing to it. When you're doing it, you can't publish anything more about it because it might be case sensitive. There is so much considerations that are doing into a court case, just more than the final outcome.
So what you're saying is suing someone for defamation is fascism.
No,
I would say
God,
that if you threaten the media, if you're the head of the country.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. I just want to make this one last point, and then you can go. I'm sorry, Cody.
You're all good. No. Let him speak.
Oh, okay.
If you're like the head of the state, right, and you're threatening the media apparatus with suing, so a draining of their fiscal ability, right, and also their ability to like impede in free speech because of case-sensitive stuff, and then secondly, you're saying that I will ruin your careers, so your livelihood, then I would consider that to be an example of a fascistic statement, yes. But you can go ahead, Cody.
Thank you. Young King, I'm going to direct you to an article. Alright? www.commondreams.org, right? Leading civil rights lawyer shows 20 ways Trump copying Hitler's early rhetoric. And it's a very detailed list. And it's very alarming. He's just gonna look up commondreams.org and find a bunch of unrelated articles. Young, did you get the rest of the important information that I just gave you?
Why can't you just put it up on your green screen?
So number one, it will disconnect me because I'm on my computer looking at it. Secondly, just commondreams.org, leading civil rights lawyer shows 20 ways Trump copying Hitler's early rhetoric. I believe Jinxy is doing that for me. But, stuff like both made closing borders a centerpiece. They embraced mass detention and deportations. Both used borders to protect selected industries. They cemented their rule by enriching elite.
So did every other president in history before Trump. Every president made it a very big
and you don't find that alarming? And you don't find that alarming? You don't find that alarming? You don't find that alarming?
Yeah, I don't find it alarming for a person to want to secure their borders.
All right. No. You just admitted that having multiple people in positions of power who are supposed to be the epitome of upholding the law and keeping the people together, especially for such a large nation, for them to basically copy a dictator, not a bad thing. That's not alarming to you.
No, you said securing borders.
No, that's what you said. That's what you said. We can run it back right now. That is what you said.
I specifically said securing the border. I wasn't talking about what he was saying. You said that,
okay, that's just one of 20 different statements. They relentlessly attack mainstream media. They unceasingly attack objective truth. They both relentlessly demonize opponents, both blame others and divide on racial lines. Right? Like do your fucking research. Wake up just a little bit, please and thank you. Because what you just said, like V says, is a mask slip.
I'm gonna leave, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm actually trying to have a conversation. I don't know why you have to sit there and be demeaning. I'm not being rude.
I'm not trying to be demeaning at all. You are demeaning yourself by painting yourself as an intellectual when you say things like the things you have said during this discussion. I have tried to keep it cordial. V has tried to keep it cordial, but you pivot. You move the goalpost and then complain about others doing it. All right? You're being entirely hypocritical in half the arguments you're making.
You're now talking about grape. So you want to talk about shifting the goalpost. Who shifted it all the way to grape? Who?
It wasn't...
That's an analogy, not a goalpost shift.
Okay, so exactly. What are we talking about, though? Instead of talking about the main point, now we're talking about grape. And that's what I mean
No. That was the word has slipped my mind. Allegory, I think. It was to draw lines of logic to see where you really stand.
No, it wasn't. It was to completely shift the goalposts from controlling the media to all of a sudden being.
To clarify,
let me respond. Let me respond.
If you're questioning
let
my
me respond
motives,
because this is what we were talking about.
bro, you're questioning my motives about a claim I made. Okay, I'm saying that I made that point as an analogy to test your whether your moral consistency remains true, and because you was making a point that coercion didn't count towards controlling the media, and I was showing you how I would assume that you care, or I hoped that you would have cared that coercion does operate in that exact way. So that's the main issue of why I brought it up. It's not pivoting, it's just called an analogy. If you struggle with analogies, I'll try and use less.
Well, yes, stay on track. I don't know why we're bringing up analogies because
analogies are on track. It's used in every professional debate ever made, and it's not a red herring, but go off, Queen.
Yeah, just allow me to talk because when you accuse me of shifting the goalposts, unfortunately, I've been trying to stay on track, but every time I start responding, this is what happens. 2 more boxes light up, and then there's about 4 more questions where now we're not even talking about controlling the media anymore. Now we're just, what are we doing?
Wait, what? Aren't you the one who's inciting this meta talk? You're the only person who's trying to run the meta debate right now.
No, kick. How kids I can't give... There we go. Thank you, Cody. I can't kick people for some reason.
But King, you're the only person who's trying to run meta debates right now. I'm pretty sure Cody was trying to give you articles and evidence to support he was coercing people into certain actions, or something along those lines. She was trying to present you some foundational evidence, and then you started on the whole meta analysis of the debate.
And then this is exactly what we'd agreed on. Everything she showed, there was no legal action taken. There was no one arrested for their speech. Free speech is still very alive and well in America today.
Do you think that coercion matters? This is why I asked you the question. If you don't think coercion matters, then A, I would question your morality, or the way that you're even able to make points on these types of these positions.
Let me respond.
Sure, go ahead. I mean, you always bitch about people cutting you off, but go ahead, bro.
Okay. You literally just did. I wasn't even.
Yeah, but I'm cutting you off because I was saying you resend the same courtesy that you do onto others and onto me. That's all. Otherwise, I'd be sitting muted the entire time. And also, you lie a bunch.
Right, but go ahead and because what you were about to do was tell me what I believe and tell me what I think.
No, right? I would question those things.
Even though I didn't say it.
I'd say I'd question these things. If you didn't care about coercion. I am saying I would question your morality. I would question your your integrity. I would question your capability to even talk about these types of topics.
And that
by questioning coercion,
that analogy is important.
Coercion. No, it's not productive at all whatsoever, and I think that making the equivalency to telling the media to stop lying to grape, I think that's an awful analogy, and I think you could have did better than that. If grape is your crux, if grape is that's the hill you want to win on, I think you are smart enough to find a way better analogy than that, and I challenge you to do that. But I also want to add, again, we're talking about coercion of defamation suits, and defamation suits are nowhere close to grape at all whatsoever. In fact, you guys would agree with me that the media has a responsibility to report correct information because this very same media that you're defending right now, I want to defend too, and I want to defend their integrity. The only reason that they deserve us defending them is if they maintain the responsibility of giving us correct information. So when you get threatened by somebody for defamation, for reporting information that's not true, I think it's very good. And I don't think it's fascism, especially when you hold him accountable by saying he told 78,000 lies. Well, how do you know he told 78,000 lies? Because someone told you that. So it's important that people will be able to go out there and know that if they say the wrong thing, they will get punished with defamation. That has nothing to do with grape at all whatsoever. You should find a way better analogy. You guys did not win that.
It's a completely fine analogy to use because it demonstrates the value or the principle.
How come you can't even say the word on the live? If it's completely fine to bring up, how come we can't say the word?
What are you talking about? What? How the fuck is that right?
Why do we have to say grape? Why do we have to say grape if it's okay to talk about?
Because TikTok's like personal, dependent, like private policies are that like there are certain words that you can't use because of like the age limit of the app. That's why like it's.
But it's completely completely okay to talk about and use that as an analogy.
So there is okay to use as an analogy because we understand that we're not 13 and we can have big boy conversations, right? So when I talk about grape as an analogy to understand that why you should accept, or like as a really obvious example. Oh my god! Okay, if you want to use that as a really obvious example of why you ought to accept coercion as like a principal factor in like this of like understanding why these things are important or why these things limit or limit the freedom of these people, then I'm showing you that was just a really easy and condemning way to show you how that is so obvious, right? I don't have to limit my analogies for you. I don't have to limit myself. If you want to like throw a hissy fit because the propositions I've like already given you are like hurting your sensibilities and tough shit. Like I don't know, wear a helmet. So the main issue is that I'm telling you that coercion matters. You're saying that it's different. I'm saying, well, I've already said to you or qualified to you why it actually does matter, because when we talk about very specific cases such as like when he's like threatening to get people's lives destroyed, when he's threatening to sue people for defamation, you're just saying that, well, it's good. Why doesn't he sue all of these people? The fact is he doesn't, because he's just using it as a tool. If he genuinely did feel some type of virulent way or like dead, like internal way that he's going to sue all of these people, he should have sued every single media company out there who slanders him, because he claims that all of them, the entire left-leaning media apparatus, is entirely lying about every single thing that he says. He calls them troglodytes and shit. So I'm just curious, like, how could you...
The broadcasters are literally reading the same exact paragraph, and it's false information.
Okay,
so my question to you would be...
Just to clarify really quickly, Trump does not care about being the bad guy to leftists, right? MAGA is a cult who will literally do anything for him. He doesn't care about, like, Kirk's Memorial, he said he hates the other side. He hates them, right? He doesn't care about being the bad guy for the leftists. Let's not like act like he's some like martyr for the left and the right. You even said before that he is like incredibly divisive. He does not care, okay? He doesn't care about legal fees. He does not care about fiscally ruining people. He doesn't care. So don't try and make that point.
I'm the first one who said he was divisive. I brought that up when I initially...
I know, that's why I told you that you said he was divisive. Hold on.
Is it okay if you guys make your closing statements right about now? Because I'm about to end live.
Yeah, let's go.
V, follow me because I'm going live after this.
I mean, I'm probably going to hop on some like Christian lives, but I'll drop you a follow. But you can give your closing statement first, if you want. Oh. Well, I'll give my closing statement. Okay. No, I always got to close out a show. He just lied. There was no closing statement. There was no response against the coercion and